Now, how many of you are looking to see how far you can really go with manifestation? You've heard about stories, these incredible success stories of how people manifest their way out of health, out of poverty, loving relationships. I've shared my own personal journey. I've displayed it. I've proven it to you guys that this does work. I'm walking the talk, you know, I'm not just regurgitating the law. I'm not just editing my video every 5 minutes because I'm reading from a script. I'm reading from the script of life. And I'm sharing with you exactly what's happened in my life. Yes, it puts me in a vulnerable position. Yes, of course it does. But you know, it's worth it, because I want you to see realistically what's this like. It's not all airy-fairy, magical nonsense. A lot of it is really psychological at the very core of it. A lot of it is understanding how the mind works. A lot of it is understanding how to use your mind to your advantage. And incredible things do happen. And if you can influence in a way other people's reactions, if you can influence nature around you, even animals as well. I mean, think about that for a second. Your intentions have an impact. Your intentions, not even your physical action, your intentions at the very core of it, your mindset, completely changes and shifts your world. So really, what is there? Is there anything that we cannot achieve? Essentially, now, of course, we keep in mind that everything abides by laws of nature, right? I'm not going to just imagine myself as a slim-toned model when I'm currently obese and go to bed and wake up the next day and suddenly I'm this slim-toned model. No, it's going to go through a very natural chain of events. Every single one of your desires goes through a very natural chain of events. And this is the reason why so many of us get tripped up, because we get so sucked into the 3D circumstances, because we get so sucked into these chains of events that we cannot comprehend, and it's not for us to comprehend, but we seem to forget that. Now, I'm going to share with you, based on my own experience of physical change as well, because like with anything that I can observe, be it my thoughts and feelings, be it 3D reality and circumstances, be it this 3D avatar of mine, this is just an expression of my inner self. You know, it is always the Hermetic principle, as within, so then it without. So whatever I am within myself, whatever I believe myself to be, whatever I have made my truth, whatever my concept is of myself and in relation to this world and how I see things, that's what I'm always going to see projected. I can't see or experience my life outside of that in any way. It's always coming through me. It's not happening to me. And there's really nothing you can't do. So let me share, and I'll share with you kind of the step-by-steps in a way so that you can apply this to yourself. Because maybe some of you, you know, manifesting your specific person, maybe you're feeling a bit glum. Some of you have just decided, I want to do this for myself. Or I want to feel good when my SP comes in. Or I just want to manifest weight loss so I can fit into that lovely pair of jeans that I've not worn for the last 10 years, or whatever it might be, okay? First up, by the way, I'm Athena Raven. I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach. So I do, knowing the principles and the fundamentals of the law, having experienced it all my life, I do also understand the mental health aspects. And that's why I use modalities of therapy. That's why I'm sharing with you things like hypnosis as well, to help you step into the state. And I've yet to do the money hypnosis one, to put you in the abundance of finances state. But once I've created that, I will do more for things like weight loss, like quitting certain, you know, quitting smoking, for example, if you want. It depends. You guys tell me. But I always utilize the modalities of therapy because mind is truly important. Now, you would have all heard the story, I'm sure. And if you haven't, you know, maybe seek it out. There's not much known about Abdullah. Now, those of you who have come across Neville Goddard's teachings, and if you haven't, if you're new to this, I do recommend it. Out of all the metaphysical teachers that I came across, the spiritual teachers I came across, from Florence Scovel Shinn and Abraham Hicks and Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard was the one I always went back to, always resonated with me the most. And his incredible stories and testimonials as well were the thing that kept me inspired and motivated. Now, his mentor, Abdullah, which I believe is also the same mentor that Joseph Murphy had. Abdullah was this Ethiopian, a black Ethiopian rabbi. That's what he was, black Ethiopian rabbi in the early 1900s in America. So you can imagine as well during that time and how he would have been viewed simply for the color of his skin. You know, he had a lot up against him, but he had shifted his state so much to see himself as important, to see his culture as something to be proud of, completely shifted his state, that he was able to go to VIP sections, live the life of a king essentially. And that included eating and drinking whatever the hell he wanted and it not having impacted his health. In fact, from what I understand, I believe he lived to be in his 90s. And there was a discussion between him and Neville once, because, you know, even Neville was looking at the way that Abdullah was eating and he was like, hey, Ab, you know, aren't you worried about your health? You know, this is going to kill you, sort of thing. And Abdullah, you know, very calmly sort of stated in his usual way, if you ate like this, it would kill you. But because I know who I am, it doesn't affect me. And you see, the reason why I share this story with you is that it really isn't about outside sources in any of this. You see, the moment that we can just drill it into our minds that everything is happening through us and everything is happening within us, it is within myself, it's nothing to do with the outside. Yes, you've been taught that if you eat your fruit and veg, it's healthy. But then why is it that some people, the vegetarian, a friend of mine, vegetarian guy, yoga instructor, so he was physically fit, vegetarian, still got an aggressive form of cancer. He's healed now, thank God, but he wasn't meant to. It was meant to be terminal. The power of his mind healed him. But it's not actually diet. It's not actually external influences that affect your weight like you might believe that it is. Can we change that belief? Because all these external influences, these limiting beliefs that society have put on us, the government have put on us, our parents have placed on us, we're the ones who have adapted it and absorbed it as our truth. But is there actually one truth? Because you could look around at people who would talk about, yes, I'll have a vegetarian or a vegan diet and they're extremely healthy, living their best life. And then you'll have the other side of it as well, which shows the malnourishment, or shows people who simply just eat meat and nothing else, who are thriving. So it's not really about what it is that we're ingesting or taking from the outside, but what's the mindset that you're going into it with, you know? So it was like that for me. I'm going to post some pictures. Now, unfortunately, when I was at my heaviest, it was a time when camera phones were not really a big thing. You know, like I said, I've been doing this plus 20 odd years now. I'm in my mid 40s nearly. So I didn't have, and I was very careful to not have many photos taken of me at the time, because not only was I extremely overweight, but I was suffering debilitating anxiety and depression. So I was agoraphobic and I wasn't even going out, which again probably explains some of the weight gain. But I will show you, I do have some pictures where the weight was piling on and I was getting heavier and heavier, so you could see. So although it wasn't at my peak, you can see that how big I was getting. And the only reason I have pictures of that is because it was at uni and people had cameras, not camera phones, didn't exist back then, but had cameras and were taking pictures. So you'll be able to see back then I was, and I don't know how to explain it to you guys, I was a size, at my worst, a size 16 UK size. You might need to look that up for those of you in the States and stuff, but say at my worst I was about 12 and a half stone. Again, I should have maybe used the conversion to have a look what this weight actually is, but it doesn't matter, irrelevant. I was essentially very much overweight, very much overweight from what I should have been. So I set an intention, like a lot of us do, for weight loss. Now, my mindset was still that of a fat girl. I was a fat girl trying to lose weight. That was essentially my mindset. And so, of course, what happened was I fell into the trap that a lot of people fall into. I mean, what do you do when you set that intention? I'm not the person to ever go to the gym, ever. You will never, ever see me set foot in a gym, ever. Ask Joseph, ask my friends. I just never interested me. Okay, so I was just like, right, that's a no-go. And I'm a bit lazy. I'm lazy with my manifesting methods, right? So I'm also lazy with my exercise. I'm not going to be exercising. I do like to walk. I didn't have cocoa at the time, but I'll be willing to do a walk. I'm willing to change my diet, and I went vegetarian, and then I went vegan for a while. I was trying different sorts of things, different lifestyles, and then carnivore and keto and Kellogg's diet, which back then was a big thing as well. Don't even ask. Kellogg's cereal, which is like a cereal for breakfast, cereal for lunch. only 30 grams, and then a healthy dinner, which of course you're going to lose weight. It wasn't really much food, but it wasn't sustainable. I had even found diet pills online that there was something made of some sort of fish or shellfish extract that I really fell for, and I was like, great, this weight is going to melt off. So it's just like, okay. So these were the sort of methods that I was utilizing to try and lose weight. And I know I've sort of touched upon this in previous videos. And this is the thing, this is how powerful you are, because really this is just an expression of me. And your bodies, remember, your bodies, yourself is always changing, just like your SP is always changing, just like money and finances, the law, nature, your environment, it's always changing. Nothing's set in stone. So if you don't like your current circumstances, just know at the very core of it that you can absolutely change it. You're not stuck here. And that's really good for alleviating your anxiety. But you see, back during this time, you know, at university, I hadn't discovered the law yet. And I was going through the force of going through what the processes that I thought I should go through, but all the time looking at myself in the mirror and feeling fat, feeling frustrated. It's not working. I'm trying this diet, I'm trying that diet. And then of course I would have a bit of a slump with it. And I was miserable because every time I would go out with my family and my friends as well, I would be the girl that would have to order the salad, and yet I still wasn't really getting much results. It's not like I wasn't getting any results, don't get me wrong. I did lose weight, but then as soon as I would lose it, it would creep up, down, up, down. It was very, and those of you who have been on any sort of weight loss or self change, appearance change, or whatever, you will know, even the healing journey in itself as well, if you're healing yourself mentally or physically, it's not always going to be like, yes, road to success. I mean, if it was, I think a lot of us would not be worrying and spiraling and questioning ourselves so much, right? For me, it wasn't like that. It was like up and down, up and down. The weight journey was like, yeah, a bit lost, a bit back up again. So of course, in discovering the law and realizing that my mindset needed to shift, and in getting an interest in psychology as well, and understanding that, okay, I need to change my beliefs about this. I can't go about effective weight loss if I'm going about it still identifying as the fat girl, still talking about myself like I'm big. So I was trying to remember, because it was a long time ago that I went about this change. But again, I realized that changing my diets and that was not having any impact. So instead, I just started to imagine myself how I would like to be. I could see myself having the kind of physique that I wanted. And every time I weighed myself, I saw through what I was seeing, because life is holographic, right? The reality is holographic. I, first of all, am only picking up a very small fragment of reality. There is so much information. There's so many different colors and sounds and frequencies that I cannot pick up. We know they exist. I mean, dogs can pick them up. Other creatures can pick them up. We can't pick them up. So we don't have a name for half of the colors out there in the spectrum because we don't see them. I see like 0.00 whatever 3% of it, right? So how much information I'm missing. So I've trained myself to look through reality. That doesn't mean that I don't get triggered. We'll all get triggered. We're having a human experience. But if you can train yourself to look through what you're seeing, when I look in the mirror, I'm not seeing the fat girl. I'm sort of looking through it to see the ideal version of myself. When I'm weighing myself, I was always seeing my weight 9.5 stone. Don't know why I picked that out, 9.5 stone. But that's what I saw, and that's what I continue to see no matter what. And sometimes actually I don't know, this was just my method, okay? Like I say, utilize your own, but whatever gets you to change your mindset. I mean, I was learning about hypnosis, so I was using like self-hypnosis and that. I would put myself on the scale and I would kind of lift myself up a little bit just to help me picture what is it like actually to be 9.5 stone, from like 12 and a half, something like that, to 9.5, like big difference. So things started to occur, my bridge started to unfold. I had some very set intentions. Now, it's going to sound familiar to you. This is how all of us manifest anything. We all have an internal checklist. I had an internal checklist about what my dream home would be like. I had an internal checklist about what my car would be like, something small, 2-seater, sporty. I had an internal checklist about what my ideal relationship, my perfect person and my partner would be like. And it was the same with myself, my body, my weight, how I would carry myself, what I want to be. I had an internal checklist about this. I didn't want to have to restrict myself or eat healthy. I wanted to be the kind of person that could eat whatever the hell she wanted, a bit like Abdullah, although I'm in no way, by Abdullah's standards, in no way have I reached that level of consciousness. Incredible. But I can say that I wanted to be the kind of person that could eat whatever she wanted, because I'm half Greek and I'm half Persian, and food is a big thing. Food is a big thing in my culture. I mean, if you miss a meal, they'll question that something is wrong with you. That was the irony, right? That everyone's willing to feed you. They're wanting to feed you to show you love. And then, of course, that's piling on the pounds. And then you're getting taught that you're getting too fat. You're getting too fat. Thank you, grandparents. And I was aware of it and I was fighting it. So that was my sort of checklist, right? I want to be able to lose weight with minimal effort, without having to exercise, because I don't go to the gym. I'm not that kind of person. So that would require me perhaps having quite a fast metabolism somehow. I want to be able to eat what I want, essentially, and not have to worry, you know. I want it to happen like this way, that way. You know, I had these certain ideas. I don't want to be too skinny, but I want to feel quite toned. I want that hourglass physique back. I want a stomach to be a bit, you know, flatter. And I don't know, you know, I sort of imagined it and I just kept on seeing it. And you would see pictures, or I would see pictures and stuff in magazines as well and things. So I guess in a way I was visually engrossed, plus watching MTV back in those days as well, and looking at these girls and thinking, oh yeah, I like that style, and embodying it for myself. See, this is what I mean with these success stories, right? We're not hoping and wishing that was me. No, I'm just like, yeah, I want that for myself. I'm gonna step into that myself. What would it be like if that outcome happened for me, if I looked like that person? I mean, there was one, I can't remember, I think it was Crazy Town or something, a Butterfly song, whatever it is. I mean, the girl in that, I was just like, yes, you know, loved her physique, loved her hair. And I realized, I was like, actually, as the years have progressed, I have merged more into that with the tongue ring, and I had the short black hair at the time, the side fringe or bangs, as you guys call it. And yeah, so when I'd set this intention with more clarity as to what I wanted, I stopped trying so hard with the 3D reality, gave up on the diet pills and the crazy diets that I was trying, gave up trying essentially. Oh, there's a little rainbow again. Gave up trying and just decided to be it. So the weight came off very quickly at one point, and it was, and like I say, it always happens naturally. And I realized at the time, because don't forget, this was one of my earlier manifestations as well, I had this assumption, and it's stupid because I know I kept reiterating it, that the only way that I lose weight as well is like through stress, maybe. So nothing had happened in my 3D reality to cause me any stress, but I think the anxiety had ramped up a little bit in my life, and suddenly I just, my appetite was suppressed. So I was just eating less, not doing more physically in any way, but just eating less and not really kind of having much of an appetite. And I suppose with anxiety as well, your adrenaline is heightened. So maybe that was speeding up my metabolism too. So it was just like, woo, I just really like the weight was like dropping off. I remember I had gone to Cyprus for a couple of weeks. I had come back and my mum had quite a shock as to how much weight I had lost in those 3 weeks, and yeah, it was insane. So that had helped, and then it got to plateaued to about 10.5 stone, and then it was a slow, gradual loss of weight from there till I kind of perfected this, that I was just like, yeah, I can eat whatever. Suddenly I didn't care about what I was eating. I actually stopped worrying. I wasn't counting the calories on the menu. I wasn't trying to figure out what I can eat, what I can't eat, starving myself, because I was doing that as well. No. Slim fast shakes. I tell you, when I tell you I tried everything before, I tried everything. And of course, like you see, if your mindset is not right, it's not going to work for you. But as soon as I just gave up on all of that stuff, literally, I gave up on all of it. And I just decided like that was what I wanted. And I started seeing influences on the outside that I was just like, yes, that's what I'm going to be like. I even felt compelled, don't ask me why, I felt compelled to not throw out some of my clothes that had no longer fit me, because I had this quite natural belief that I was going to fit into them again. And I still, to this day, I still have some of my clothes, some of my Jane Norman clothes, which you can't even get Jane Norman anymore, love them. I fit back into them. They're very petite clothing, and no way I could have fit into it before, no way. But could fit into it perfectly fine as my bridge of events unfolded to this. Now I'm at a point, and you can ask Joe, you can ask my friends, they laugh when they come here, because I've still got that Greek side of me. I just want to feed everybody when they come here, and I feed big portions. I love food, but I eat big portions. I eat more than Joe does. Like for dinner and that, I'm eating a lot more. My friends and that get shocked as well. They always say to me, where do you put it? Where do you put it? I don't know. I couldn't say, but it is all mindsets, because I believe I have high metabolism. I believe I can eat whatever the hell I want and my weight will always remain the same. Now, in reality, I'd set this intention. I had reached my ideal weight around my 20s, but it would have been to my mid, and then my perfect ideal weight maybe towards the later half of my 20s as well. And it's just remained there ever since. No matter what I eat, no matter what I do, it just naturally goes there because of my mindset. And also, I forgot to mention as well, what helps is, because this isn't just about, although I'm giving you an example of my of changing self and appearance and that, like I said, this is applicable to everything you're manifesting. Okay, so stay with me on this, because this is truly important as well. For those of you who are manifesting things that, say for example, you've never been in wealth, or you've never been your ideal weight, or you've never been in a happy, healthy relationship, right? The fact that you desire it in the first place means that your higher self knows what that feels like, even if you don't. And what can really help you, what helped me with the weight loss thing, was I had never had a high metabolism. I always had to be careful of what I ate. That's what I'd believed. But a friend of mine at school, and still to this day as well, like, you know, my bestest friend, I absolutely adore this girl, has always remained perfectly svelte. She's had 2 children, and you never would guess it. She's the same physique as she was in school. She's like a really small, petite, size 8. And I said to her, I was like, girl, you eat so much. Where do you put it? She doesn't care. She eats everything. And she was laughing. She just said to me, just have a high metabolism. You know, that's what she truly believed. That's what she addressed herself as having. That's what she stated. I am this. I have a high metabolism. And I spoke to her. I would have numerous conversations with her about it, doing this research into what does it feel like to have a high metabolism, to eat whatever you want. So you can do that as well if you know of people who are rich and you want to be wealthy, but you've never had that kind of wealth in the millions, say for example, or you wanted to be in a loving relationship but you never had that. Maybe you've got friends and family you can talk to who are in a loving relationship who can share what that's like with you. Or maybe there's celebrities that you look up to, or other people like that. Read their books, go and do some research online. I mean, you guys are lucky. You have an abundance of things online now as well, abundance of information so readily available at our fingertips. I suppose it can be a blessing, it can be a curse, but for me, a lot of that time back then as well, in my early 20s, was not as much. It was not as accessible. I wasn't really using it all the time. I wasn't really using it on my, phone. Mobile phones were basic. So a lot of that is mind. And like I say, to this day, I'm still the same physique. I don't exercise, so a couple of times I've done other things as well. Some of you had noticed actually in my last video. I only did it for a bit of fun. I was imagining myself feeling toned because, getting to mid-40s, things may be not as toned as they used to be. So I was imagining myself feeling toned, and then Joe started reflecting that back to me and saying, you're really nice. You've got really nice toned body. Now I was just like, really? I mean, I haven't done anything, but how he's perceiving me is how I was perceiving myself in my imagine or act. That I'm feeling quite naturally toned. I had imagined that my boobs were bigger, and a few of you commented on was it my last video or the video before that, actually, which was more evident that they had, and this happened to me a few times, where they just blew up. I put it down to maybe some hormonal fluctuations where they just blew up, but it was still, that was my bridge of events. Whatever hormonal fluctuation had to occur, and suddenly there I was, and even I noticed. I was like, what the hell's happened to my chest? When did that happen? You see, I'm not sitting there waiting for it. I'm not wondering why it hasn't happened yet. I'm not weighing myself thinking, oh my God, I put on the weight and this isn't working and I give up. I persisted in the knowing that I've got a high metabolism, I can eat what I want, and it's just so much, life is so much easier that I can literally eat whatever I want and not put on weight. I don't know if I can eat necessarily whatever I want and feel healthy like Abdullah did. That's probably next stage. But certainly these are the kind of things that you're capable of. You've got to stop seeing yourself and people and reality around you and laws and nature. You've got to stop seeing everything as so solid just because it feels and seems that way. All of you have this power and ability as long as you can change your mindset. And you can change your mindset by imagining it, by looking at external sources, getting some research from it, talking to people who are already in that situation, who are the type of people that you wish to be, and embodying it. That's why I said there's no room for jealousy. There's no room for, oh no, I don't believe that, they can't do it, or I can't do it. There's no room for that here. You're in the Academy of Success whilst you're here in my channel, right? So own it. You have the same power. I am no more powerful than you guys. We all have exactly the same power and ability. Don't be put off by the fact that I've been doing this for years. So what? At that point, I was still new. I was still testing it all out. That's why I say test it for yourself, but have a playful mindset with it and get off your case a little bit. You know, stop being so hard on yourselves. Another thing that I've done with physical appearance, really, I mean, I've not done much in the way of physical appearance, to be honest with you. A lot of it was about loving and accepting myself for who I am, and whatever flaws and imperfections I had, I embraced as part of my culture, part of my uniqueness, part of, you know, I had imagined numerous times about having tattoos and piercings, and then your bridge unfolds to drive you to that point. I had imagined about my hair. My hair is naturally like afro. It's so curly, you know, and I had imagined it somewhat straight, and then I had imagined it a certain way in certain hairstyles that then over time just embodied, you know. I had imagined feeling younger. I mean, I don't imagine, I feel younger than my years, and people are often reflecting back to me that they think I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. You know, I'm over 43. So it is all about mind and how you feel within that is then expressed without. You've got to see this as your avatar that you are constantly shaping. So gain clarity, number one, on what it is that you want. Okay, remember what I said, the checklist. That checklist applies to everything. You've already, all of you have got it. But maybe if you sit with yourself and actually gain clarity as to what this checklist is, that's going to really help you to, okay, ascertain what my goal is. What does that look like, feel like, sound like? Maybe you're doing an imaginal act where you can see yourself in your new body, in your new physique. You want to get yourself comfortable in it. It's like you're putting on a new suit, as Neville calls it. You're putting on a new outfit. This doesn't feel comfortable. This doesn't feel like me. It's not going to feel natural at first. Of course it isn't. But what happens when you buy new outfit, new shoes? You wear it, and you wear it, and you wear it until it becomes a part of you. And that's what you do. You imagine it, you embody it, you imagine it, you step into it until that just feels a part of you. Why can't it be part of your reality? You're not born with a fast metabolism. You can adapt that, you can change that, you can shift that. It's all working for you. If people can achieve miraculous changes and miraculous health manifestations and other amazing things, then why can't you? Why can't we all do it? Of course we can. We all have the power. You move mountains, you move people, you move all sorts of things. So remember that. Okay, so I really hope that this helped you out, because I know it was something that was, you know, asked of a lot in our Discord chat. And if you wanted to join, if you guys are, you know, feeling a bit lonely, maybe you want to have some challenges set, you want some inspiring successes posted up in real time, you want to talk to like-minded people, make more friends who are in the same mindset. You don't have to be alone. We've created this Discord community that we're all involved in, myself and Joseph included, and even I've been finding it very motivational. All the links are down in the description box, as well as for my coaching, as well as for my websites. See other people's success stories, how they shifted. There's some appearance changes, success stories on there, as well as people have manifested health or money, SPs, homes for kittens. There's some random things, you know, Barbados coins. Some of you have been really random with it as well, and I love it. And I want you to just keep sharing your success stories. Email it to me. Whether you've coached with me or not, whether you've spoken to me in the past or not, I don't care. Whether it was before the law or not, it doesn't matter. Let's hear out all your success stories, because all of you have numerous, not just one, numerous successes, okay? We've all done this before. So I really hope this helped you out. Love you guys. And I'll see you all in the next video.